Okay, so I don't really know how to start this video off. I promised myself that I would never speak on this situation again, but recently I've had people ask me how my twin flame journey is going. And, I feel like it's my responsibility to tell you guys where I stand on that now, because my mind and, my heart are in a completely different place than they were when I made my twin flame video and every video related to that situation and every video where I spoke about it in that context. You guys gotta understand that YouTube is like my diary. Like, I just make videos, I do research on these things. Like, I knew what I was talking about when I made the twin flame video, but at the same time, I was really not in the best emotional state to be talking about that. And, that's something that as my following grows, as my audience grows, I'm gonna have to be a little more responsible speaking on certain things. Now, I'm not gonna delete that video. I don't want to delete any of my old videos because I feel like they show my growth. I can see how far I've come, both in terms of like technical skills, like as far as editing and, just my on-camera presence and energy, and also just emotionally, how far I've come emotionally from any trauma that I might have had, or just mentally, overall, just being able to see how I've healed myself, in these past few months, because it was not a very easy process. There were a lot of ups and downs, but I've finally reached a point where I'm good. Like, I am completely good. Now, first off, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, basically, I went through a situation with this girl in early 2020, and basically, when we met, I was not in a good mental state, just keeping it real with you guys. I was depressed, I was suicidal, I was all of these things. I was not in a good state of mind to be dating, especially with the intention of actually entering into a relationship with someone. You gotta make sure that your mind is right first, that you're emotionally stable before you try to put yourself out there. And so I was over here on Tinder, making these videos, and truth be told, I was actually lonely. Like, I was actually lonely, and I was using those videos as kind of a, I guess, facade to act like I wasn't taking it serious. But truth be told, I was low-key looking for a wife on there. I just needed somebody at that time. I felt like I couldn't be by myself anymore. I was so lonely, and the reason why I was lonely is because I didn't enjoy my own company anymore. And when you don't enjoy your own company anymore, you are not in a good space, because you have to be with yourself 24/7. You can't get away from yourself. The only way you can get away from yourself is to not be alive anymore. And like I said, I was not in a good state of mind. I was thinking these things, on a day-to-day basis. And so anyways, I met this girl and we hit it off very well. Things were going well. And this girl really understood me. And I talked about this in my To Anyone Going Through Heartbreak video. Basically, all anyone wants is to be understood. When you're looking for something serious, you just want to be understood. At the end of the day, that's all we want as humans. That's the reason why we interact with other humans, is because we want to find someone else who understands us. And for the first time in my 19 years of life at that time, I felt understood. I felt genuinely understood on a deeper level. And because of that, I developed a very, very strong attachment. Now, I don't want to get too much into detail on the situation because, like I said, I'm just tired of speaking on it. You guys can go watch the original Twin Flame video if you want, because like I said, I'm not going to delete that video. But I developed a very strong attachment to this girl. And one thing that I've learned in these past few months is that attachments are dangerous. Okay, they are very, very dangerous. When you are seeking happiness from outside of yourself, in order to compensate for the fact that you don't have happiness from within, basically you're setting yourself up for failure and heartbreak. So anyways, I developed this attachment to this girl, and maybe like 2 weeks into us talking, we never got past the talking stage, mind you. We never kissed, we never did anything. Okay, we never went past like a hug. So you gotta understand that that's how bad I was, that I caught feelings that hard for a girl that I was still talking about her in like June or whenever I made that twin flame video. Okay, so we only talked for like 2 weeks and continued to hang out after that for like maybe another 2 weeks. So anyways, after that, you know, things went down and we ended up not talking. She ghosted me. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. She ghosted me. And this did not sit well with me at all. Okay, this didn't sit well with me because, like I said, I felt like that was the first time I had ever been understood to that extent. So basically, me and her stopped talking and I had a full-blown meltdown. Okay, a full-on, complete meltdown. I'm not gonna get too much into detail with that. I've written about it and I'm still trying to decide if I want to share the things that I wrote about that. You know, I wrote like a couple of spoken words about it, but basically fast forward like a month or two and somehow, some way, I learned about the idea of twin flames. Okay, I learned about the idea of twin flames and I was vulnerable. You know, like I said, I was not in a good state of mind. I was still very, very vulnerable because of the trauma that I was carrying around from that situation. So, you know, at first, after that situation failed the way that it did, I found solace in the red pill ideology. That was my way to rationalize the way that things happened and to suppress my feelings. And after a while, I realized that it didn't make any sense. You know, it simply didn't make sense to me. And I've talked about that in my I Took the Red Pill video, if you want to check that out. But basically, I went from the red pill ideal to the twin flame ideal. Okay, these were all coping mechanisms. At the end of the day, they were all coping mechanisms and they all held some degree of truth. You know, these ideas will hold as much truth as you allow them to, as you decide that they will. You know, that's the way that the law of attraction works. If you believe in something strong enough, you will find ways in your mind to justify why that ideal is correct and why that is the ultimate truth. So basically, when I found out about the twin flame ideal, it made sense to me. And I latched onto this idea. You know, I latched onto this idea and I began to justify everything that I saw about this ideal in my mind. Now, there are different stages to the twin flame journey, and I can't remember all of them, but I know that within those stages, there is a separation phase and a reunion phase. Okay, now, if you really look at the phases of the twin flame journey, those stages can be applied almost anywhere. You know, they can be applied almost anywhere. They're very, very general. But the problem with that was the reunion. Okay, the reunion is supposed to come at the end. And once I planted that idea into my mind, even though I didn't want to fully believe it because I didn't want to be attached to her, at this point I was aware that I had developed an attachment to her and I was really trying to get rid of it. But once I found out about the twin flame ideal and the reunion stage, that attachment came back. And I really was trying to shake this for the longest time. But basically, once I bought into this twin flame journey, I really truly bought into it. You know, I believed it with every fiber of my being. And you know, once I allowed myself to believe this and make these videos about it, all of a sudden I had, you know, people in my comments saying that they had the same experience. So all of a sudden, you know, that confirmation bias kicked in and I thought, okay, this stuff is legit. You know, this stuff is legit. Now, what I've realized is that, yes, she did serve a very divine purpose in my life, because if it weren't for that situation, a lot of the videos that I'm making now would not be possible, because that basically threw me headfirst into a spiritual awakening. Now, I have the perspective to realize that everyone serves a divine purpose in your life. Everyone. You know, that's why everyone exists. If somebody did not serve a divine purpose in your life, they would not exist. You know, once I let go of the twin flame ideal, I realized that I have thousands of people who understand me in that same way that I wanted to be understood by her. You know, as I'm making this video right now, I'm at 7,800 subscribers. I just hit 7,800 today. And I realized that the reason why these people are subscribing to me is because they understand me. You know, they see something in me that they also see in themselves. And that's exactly what being understood is. And like I said, that's all we want as humans, is to be understood. You know, now I have the emotional stability and just the perspective, you know, seeing the bigger picture, to realize that everyone is my twin flame. Everyone is my soulmate, however you want to put it. You know, divine connections are inherent of existence. We all exist. Therefore, we all share a divine connection with each other. Once I realized this, I was able to let go of the twin flame ideal. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But I will say this right here. The exact day that I decided to let go of the twin flame ideal, the exact day that I decided that that ideal no longer served me, I started talking to this other girl that I have even more in common with. I cannot make this up. Like I said, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Me and this girl have already gone further than me and that girl did. And I'm not trying to compare the situations or whatever. This is like a complete fresh start for me. But basically, I'm telling you guys this just to say that there is somebody better out there for you. The twin flame thing, it is true. But it's only true because you believe it to be true. It's only as true as you believe it to be. Once you decide that that ideal no longer serves you and that you don't want to believe in that idea anymore, you can let it go. You can let that idea go and allow the universe to bring you someone even better. The twin flame ideal is literally based on attachment. It's based on attachment to one person. Within that ideal, you will never find somebody who makes you feel that same way ever again. The reason why that is because you develop an attachment to them. It's that simple. Attachments are not healthy. They're not healthy for you. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to tell you guys what to do. I'm not telling you that you're wrong for believing in the twin flame ideal because, like I said, I was there. I believed in that at one point very, very strongly. But, I want you guys to be mindful of the attachment aspect of it because that is not healthy. That is toxic. That's how toxic relationships are formed. You do not have to put your emotional stock. You do not have to invest yourself into one person. Okay, now, am I telling you that you need to go out and just cheat or, mess around with multiple different people? I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you need to put that love into yourself first. It needs to come from within and let the contents of your cup spill over and allow that extra to nourish whoever is fortunate enough to enter into your life.